I have gathered data of over 400 pages of the Smithy special event. I've watched countless hours of VODs of people doing this event to see if it's worth doing and what the odds are and how many items you actually get. Because Lilith does not give us the odds, so somebody had to do it. This is going to be a very complicated video, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. The first thing you have to ask yourself when collecting data like this, which is not from Lilith themselves, because Lilith only gives us the data of the appearance rate of how many blueprints and materials you get, but they don't tell us the discount rates, because the discounts are random. Well, they're not entirely random, but we'll get into that. So at the start, everything is 50%, but when you buy something at a discount, and then it drops down. When you do something like this, where you don't have 100% accurate data, there is a formula you can use to calculate the standard margin of error, and that is usually for scientific cases plus minus 5%. In this case, my sample size is big enough to be within statistical error of 4.2%, which is, per definition, a scientific method. Calculating a few events, this is actually scientific. So my sample size is basically within a range that most studies would treat as statistically reliable. This sample size is for sure big enough to make assumptions about how much value this event gives. So getting right into it, the first thing you have to ask yourself, because you get a limited amount of hammers, right? You get 60 hammers in total if you buy the bundle, 30 you get free to play, and 330 you get from the bundle. What do you compare this with? So there's two schools of thought. First are the gems you spend, you can compare to the VIP shop, and the second is the hammer event. The hammer event, Hunt of History, is the only other event that gives you blueprints and materials and speed ups, which is all the things this event gives, in another event from another bundle. The egg event also gives all these things, but the egg event does not have a bundle where you can purchase tries. So you can only really compare the hammer and the Smithy special. Then we answer some other questions. The first thing I want to answer is the average amounts per page. So you have the blueprints, the legendary mats, H stands for hammers, G for gems, because those you buy with gems, those you buy with hammers, the animal bones, the speeds, and the resources, which is just like miscellaneous stuff we don't really care about. We don't calculate the cost. These don't cost gems, they cost resources. We don't calculate the resource cost of speed ups as well. It's set so little, it's not really worth it. I could go into detail how it's calculated. I'll leave a link to the Excel file below if you guys want to check that out. But in short, you get around 4.5 blueprints per page. You get 0.3 legendary mats from hammers, 0.2 legendary mats from gems, which cost 264 gems. In the VIP shop, this would cost 490. You spend barely in gems and animal bones, which is basically wasted gems because who needs animal bones. You get 1.4 hours of speed ups. This is not free resources, but this is like free slots of resources basically. And then the cost of hammers per page is going to be 18.85. So we can calculate without refreshes, you will get around 19 pages on average. We also calculated the hammers per blueprint on average, which is 3.75, and the legendary mats, which is 5.998, the hammers per average. So then when we look at the full list, so when we look at the list for blueprints, this one right here, we can see that any of these green ones are above average in terms of price. The red ones are below average, and the orange is still above average, but it's like the lowest above average. So what you should do with your skips, the first thing you should do when you see a new page in the Smithy event is to buy all the resources. Don't chase the discount chain. That's the biggest mistake you can do, because then you will have multiple blueprints that are discounted at once. If you chase the discount chain, you will only have one blueprint that is discounted instead of 3 that I have right now. And then this one might be the discounted one. And you will never see these two because you will just skip this. So always buy all the stuff with resources first, then buy the discounted gem ones until you don't have anything with gems or resources left and only hammers. And by then all your hammer ones should be discounted. Really don't follow the discount chain. Following the discount chain is the biggest mistake you can make, and you will end up spending way more hammers than you should. Now the second thing, you have 5 quote-unquote free skips. They're not really free, they cost gems, but they don't cost hammers. Use them wisely. You will get about 20 pages on average if you buy the bundle. So what you should do, if you have any of these, you should skip them. If you have a lot of those, you might be able to skip them, but I wouldn't really skip them because they're still above average. And then for the materials, it's a bit simpler. It's just 6 is slightly above average, very slightly above average. 7 is way above average, and 5 and 2 are below average. Also, one thing to note is the 1 blueprint drop can have 90, 80, 70 and 6% discounts. The 3 blueprint drop can have 80, 70, 60 free. The 5 blueprint drop can have 66 and 60. and the 8 blueprint drop can only have 60. So the more blueprints you get in a drop, the worse discounts are generally speaking. So the best discounts you will actually find in the 1 blueprint drop and the 3 blueprint drop. The 5 blueprint drop will never be 70 or above. It will always be the best case 66%. That's about a third. So coming back to what you get for a full bundle, you get about 85 blueprint fragments, which will cost you 319 hammers, and you will get about 7 materials, which will cost you 40 hammers. You will get 3.5 materials from gems, because 5k gems, compared to the AP shop, there will be 8.4k. You will get 9 animal bones. This is animal bone drop, so that's a mix of blue and green. Speed ups, you will get 26 hours. Now we come to the part that you probably have been waiting for, which is the comparison from the Hunt of History, the Hammer event, to the Smithy special, to see which one is better. It's the same for almost any of these bundles where you get a certain amount of tickets or like spins or whatever. The more you buy, the worse it gets usually. The higher tiers are usually worse per ticket than the lower tiers. So if you consider Hunt of History, the fastest way you can reach 385, right? Which is 185 twice, which is 370 plus 15. That's 3 months of buying. You will get 1.9k gems less. But since you spend gems on the Smithy special to get materials, these mats are with the gem mats. You get 3k gems more from the Hunt of History. You get 4 materials more from the Hunt of History. You get 26 days of speed ups more from the Hunt of History. But you lose out on about 33 blueprint fragments, which is almost 1 full blueprint. It's a lot. So here I would say clearly Smithy special is better. If we take a look at 6 months of Hunt of History, which is the 85 bundle 4 times, plus the 35 bundle, plus the $10 bundle, we can see that Smithy special, because the higher bundles actually give more gems, has slightly better gem return, 300 more gems on the Smithy special, but you get 7 mats more on Hunt of History, but you also lose 23 blueprint frags on the Smithy special. So here, it really depends, to be honest, if you need mats or frags more. If you are swimming in frags, if you're really swimming in blueprints, then Hammer might already be better for you, but I would still go for the Smithy special in this case. But if we look at 11 months of Hammer, which is the 35 bundle every month, so that's 5 plus 10 plus 20, you do get 3.4k gems less, and that's because the lower bundles give less gems per dollar, but you get 11.5 materials more and only 6 frags less. So this is a clear win for Hammer, I'd say. Also, you get 50 days of speed ups more. This is an absolute clear win for the Hammer event. And remember, this is all the same dollar value. For each of those, you spend $385. Just for one, you spend it over longer periods of time than for the other. Here it's instant, here it's 3 months, 6 months, and 11 months. If you aren't a high spender, if you don't buy at least $35 of the Hammer every single month, I would not recommend playing Smithy special and spending your money on it. If you do, however, spend $35 or more on the Hammer every single month, go ahead, buy the bundle, because this event is very good. Because for a high spender, this event is of course just free value. For somebody, I mean, most people don't spend money on Hunt of History anyways, right? Like, who buys Hunt of History bundle? You have to be a high spender to already buy the bundle for Hunt of History, I believe. I don't believe most medium spenders buy this bundle. You would prioritize things like Crystal Tag or your daily bundle. If you already count the daily bundle plus the supplies plus the Lucerne Scrolls Battle Pass, you're already at like $170 a month, which I would consider medium spender. So for most people, already 35 per month is not in the budget. So yeah, here you have the numbers that I spent like 10 hours on. Do with it what you will. Me personally, I'm not going to buy the Smithy special bundle because I don't buy the Hammer bundles. It's just out of my spending bracket. It's not in my budget. But yeah, it's a great event if you really need blueprint fragments and if you already buy the Hunt of History. So basically if you're a whale. Alright, that's it for today. See you next time and have fun. Goodbye.